Welcome to Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies. We're coming to you live from New Orleans at our 2024 Fall Conference. This podcast is sponsored by Bentley, and I'm very pleased to be joined today by Don Foster, the Chief Customer Officer for Panzura.
You got it, yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for the invite. Happy to have a good conversation. It's been a great event thus far, and looking forward to kind of see it close out for the rest of the day.
Okay, great. So people may not know Panzura. Can you just give us a quick download of the product you offer, the problems you're solving, and we'll talk about what's going on in the environment today.
Absolutely. So, Panzura's been around for a little while. We actually got started back in 2008, but essentially we're a data management company, a software company, really focused on the infrastructure that will help you manage your unstructured data files, right?
Right.
And really, you think about data, over the last decade and a half, as digital transformations occurred, data's always been necessary and important. Now it's become so essential that organizations are becoming more and more data dependent. And when you start to think about that, it's like, well, okay, what's driving that data dependence? Everyone's becoming more and more digitally transformed, right? And so the importance of actually how you run your business comes from the actual information that you create. And so you start to think about, okay, well, you look at all the data that's being created, data's not slowing down. We all know that, right? There used to be two things that were given, right? Death and taxes, and now it's data growth, right? So you can put all three of those together as the givens, and maybe change could be a fourth if you want to throw that one out there.
Right.
So, with that, we're seeing data continue to grow at, accelerating rates. Then the cyber threats continue to come at customers from all different vectors and angles. So that's a massive concern.
Sure.
When your data is so important, but it's always under attack and under threat, and that's what's driving your business, what you're dependent on. Huge threat that's impacting you. And of course, then the final piece then is as we, especially post-COVID, after all the workforce has kind of transformed and changed, some people are coming back in the office, some still have remote, some are hybrid. It puts people and then the need to actually deliver data to those people, the processes, different business constituents, makes it that much more challenging because we're creating more silos, data's growing, and now you have this big, massive threats that are impacting. So those are the key focus areas that we really strive to provide solutions back to our customers.
Okay.
Right? So it's, how do I get a better command and control, number one, of my entire data estate? Where data lives, what its value is, who owns what. And then beyond that, really provide a level of resilience that no matter what the threat is, whether it's a hurricane, maybe it's a hacker or a cyber threat, or something as simple as an oops that happens in the data center, right? How do I ensure that I can still provide that data and that file service back to all the users that are driving business for that company so that you can get your jobs done for the customers that you're servicing? And then beyond that then is once you have that command and control and you're delivering on that resiliency, now let's make sure that people have access to what they need when they need it so they can work at the speed of thought.
Right.
Not the, hold on one second, let me wait for this stuff to synchronize or let me tell you when I'm done with the project and then you can jump into it as well. So we do some really interesting things in helping that real-time collaboration function at the speed of thought and helping to kind of expedite the speed and efficiency in which, especially in the AEC space, in which those engineers can complete their projects.
Right, so it sounds like a full suite, right?
Absolutely, yes.
It sounds almost limitless to some degree when you're talking about data, right? There's so much of it. In terms of speed and efficiency, so we're talking all cloud-based, obviously. Can you talk a little bit about how, if a risk does occur, right? There have been 2 hurricanes.
Yep.
What's the response been like? What have you heard from customers? Are they finding that when they're in those binds, right? It's like, thank you Panzura, you've helped me out.
Sure. So that really double clicks really well into the sort of the resilience side of things for what we can offer. So you mentioned cloud. We can absolutely run in an all cloud environment if that's something a customer wants to do. What we really find our sweet spot, especially with some of the repatriation that's occurring from a cloud perspective from customers.
Right.
It's those that were early adopters suddenly realized maybe there's some benefit still doing things on-prem. So we can play as a hybrid solution as well.
Okay.
Which is really important when you still have folks that work out of offices or need to be close to the workloads that they're functioning from. So whether it's hybrid, all cloud, all on-prem, we can offer those types of solutions. But the key thing there is the resiliency that we offer. So every component of our infrastructure, every component of what we offer for how we do the file services for our customers, essentially in a global file system, it's all completely resilient. So any aspect of our infrastructure we can lose, we can fail over, go direct to cloud, and ensure users still have access to their data. They still understand of all the versioning. They have a understanding of exactly how their workflows would continue to function. In some scenarios, if a hurricane is going straight at an office where you might have some of our infrastructure up and running, we have simple ways that we can turn those down, move and fail users to a different direction, basically seamlessly, and then when that data center comes back up, undo that same process and have them back and working as if there was no outage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So solving these problems, right? It's really important, especially when you're faced with that risk. And then obviously on the other side of that, it's going in there and building up those communities after they come down. So I think the access to the data and making sure that it's real time and easily accessible is extremely important. A theme that we've seen a lot during the conference has been AI and everything AI and what that looks like.
Sure.
What are your thoughts around how that plays into some of this the processes that you have?
Yeah, so it's a core, as every technology vendor, it's a core focus as how we can help improve and help customers adopt that in a way that's responsible,
right,
but also effective and efficient, right? Because there still is a lot of call it a fog of confusion of where does AI fit best, especially in the AEC space. There's lots of ideas, and we've got some pretty good ideas that we're rolling forward as well on how we can help our tools make leveraging AI easier for the customers.
Right.
So being that we provide a platform for truly orchestrating and managing unstructured data, we can do a number of things from helping drive sort of pipelines of data to a large language model, an AI setup, whatever a customer is trying to put together based on their current information. We're also using similar technologies to help customers identify if there are threats impacting where their files are stored. So actually, we've been going down the machine learning, it's part of AI path, for quite a while now, and that one of the distinct differentiators that we offer is if you're leveraging Panzura to store your data, and you turn on our capability for what we call detect and rescue, we are tracking file anomalies and what's occurring within that file system. And if we see, footprint files from ransomware, we see anomalous activity. We can even track user profiling and anomalous activity, something we're doing as a part of that suite. We can help identify back to the security team, here's where we're seeing weirdness occurring within your infrastructure, might be a ransomware attack, and even give the ability to shut down a user at a moment's notice, so you can keep it from spreading, right?
Wow.
So we're leveraging that same sort of technology, but then imagine if we can take that same sort of idea and make it easier for customers to attach their own data sets, crawl through engineering diagrams, maybe have better document summary. Those are all things that are on the forefront of what we're executing across our platform. So whether it's CloudFS, which is sort of our core file system technology, or our new orchestration solution called Panzura Symphony, we're tying all these technologies together to give customers options on how to leverage AI.
Great. I mean, we've covered a lot. Is there anything that we've missed, right? I want to make sure that we've covered the whole landscape, the whole foundation, we'll say.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you think our viewers should know?
So one of the things I love when I come to conferences like this is you hear a lot of folks give good frameworks of what you should do. And sometimes there's still the question of, okay, great, but how? Like, where really should I get started?
Right.
And it's one of the things that we've been doing with some of our most successful customers and giving them that sort of step-by-step, look, we don't need to boil the ocean. We know you've got terabytes upon petabytes of information.
Yes.
So let's start first by assessing and getting true command and control of what your data infrastructure, what that ecosystem looks like.
Right.
And then from that, take the insights, the intelligence that we've gained, play that into some sort of policy direction that maps back with the governance policies of an organization, and then start being smart about where you put the placement of the data. And that's the cool thing, is each one of these maps into our tool sets that we have within our portfolio that then ultimately allows a customer to be resilient against ransomware attacks and any sort of outages. It then gives them the immediacy that they need for data delivery, so that you and I could work on the same Revit diagram, for example, at the same time on different parts of the globe and help speed the efficiency of creating that project. And of course, ultimately, through all of that, ensure that we have the proper control of where we're placing data and keeping costs low. It's what we inherently do for our customers.
So it's basically, it's a staged process, right? You come in, understand the landscape.
You got it.
Start pulling levers.
And give us one workload first. Let's start with one workload. Prove success. Crawl, walk, run. And before you know it, we're sprinting, and things are running as a final oiled machine.
There you go. That's where we want to be. And so if someone wants to get more information about the product, what should they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can obviously go to www.panzura.com. Okay. A lot of great information, both blogs from myself, our head of marketing, different technology leadership that we have. posting blogs all the time. We've got some great white papers that you can download that we recently published. And then, of course, on top of that, we'll have a number of webinars coming up over the next couple of months. Dive in deep with the product and let us show you how some of this stuff works. And as always, if you don't know who your local account manager is, send us a note on the website. We'd love to reach out and have a one-to-one conversation, what we could maybe do for you.
Great. Well, Don, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
This is Don Foster from Panzura. Again, this has been an episode of the Engineering Influence podcast, coming to you live from Fall Conference. We'll see you next time.